commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday, September 3rd, Hoot Day, helping out our town. Westfield State's tradition of having first years and anyone else that wants to sign up come down and help all kinds of organizations, businesses in downtown Westfield. And who better to celebrate Westfield than our outgoing mayor? It pains me to say that. Mayor Brian Sullivan sitting right here.
And
Good morning.
Bob, I do have to mention,
Yes.
it's actually Ken's Den now.
Ken's Den now.
Oh, we
8
are.
o'clock.
Oh, my gosh.
You're done.
Oh, no, I'm not done.
So
I'm an equal opportunity speaker.
I'm basically pointing out that Mr. Mayor is on Ken's Den and not Wow, It's Tuesday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, it's Hoot Day.
No, it's actually a conflation of our two programs today.
That's what we'll
So
do.
it's Wow, it's Tuesday. Wow, it's Ken's Den is the name of this show.
Wow,
And
it's Ken Hoot Day. That's what we're doing. We get them all in.
If you're
Get it
watching
all
on,
out.
and if
Get it
you're
all.
watching on Channel 15, this is Kathy Palmer, who is the wonderful side chick of
Den Mother.
Den
Mother.
Den Mother now.
Den Mother.
Promoted her.
I'm Ken's
Brian
Den
Sullivan.
It's been a long summer, Bob.
Brian, you got to catch up, Mayor. You got to catch up.
Wow.
Mayor Brian,
Wow,
would you
good
please?
morning.
What's the value of having a university in a town like Westfield?
Well, I think you should have seen that over the last 4 years with Dr. Torresia and myself coming in at the same time.
Yeah.
Sprung up a relationship where we shared thoughts and ideas and projects and students coming downtown to help out on Hoot Day. Just taking a project. I was just talking to Brent Bean, taking a project that doesn't always get done and doing it for us, and it just happens, and then people talk about it later, and it's, so I know town gown was the talk 4 years ago,
sure.
and I never really liked that phrase. I didn't really understand it. It's just a relationship that we have where I want the students to understand they live here now. They're not just
they're
coming
residents.
through. They're
Oh, yeah.
residents.
Oh, yeah.
So it's their town as much, and then it took us a while to teach some of the Westfield residents that, hey, those students are living here, and they're right up the street. So we've broken that barrier of the college versus the city and just kind of made it one.
Yeah, I think that there's always this perception, and one of my best, actually today, I'm delivering donuts to both houses. I'm surrounded by college students over across from the post office, and so as a tradition, I bring over donuts at the first day of school to both the guys living next door to me, who are second-year students. I mean, their second year of living next door, and some of the guys behind me, and that. We get to know one another, and I got to say, having students living next door can be a really boon. They come out, they shovel for me. I'm telling you, they watch this old guy. I'm telling you.
What happens, Bob, is unfortunately you go through the police log and you see college related, but it's always only a few of the same addresses. It nowhere near represents most of the students living in town here.
Well, there was an incident last year, and it was, just as you're talking about, Bob, it was neighbors. The college kids had never met the people that lived next door, so there was never that face-to-face, that knowledge of who they were. And actually, it was another neighbor got everybody together in the neighborhood, or, a majority of people, and they sat down and had a picnic. And they kind of put the face of each other next to each other. And the residents of Westfield were upset because of, there was some late night parties or whatever was happening.
Oh, for God's sakes, weren't they kids once?
But all they had, that's exactly what happened was they ended up having the conversation. The people started respecting the fact that, okay, we didn't even know we were cutting through your yard, or we didn't know our music was louder than it. Simple things, fixes.
Right.
But the residents of Westfield also said, you know what? They are 18, 19, 21, 22, 23-year-olds.
Right. Sure.
they are going to be up at night, and they bottom line is they sprung a relationship and a little respect for each other, and the problem went away.
That happened more and more this past year than what I remember seeing.
The college, actually, the city and the college had a meeting very early on and kind of mapped that out. That I was constantly getting calls down at City Hall saying, "You got to come check this out. There's 3 college houses around us, and they're up all night and they're partying and they're going through the yards, and we're scared about our equipment that's out there." And bottom line was we tackled it early and built relationships, and now, like you said, they come and shovel the sidewalk, and they
Listen, I got a text this summer. Two of them, AJ and Joe, were at the Washington Center. They went to the Washington, D.C. Center. They're in criminal justice. They were there all summer. So AJ texts me in the middle of summer to go and check on his house. Where else could we do that?
Yeah, that's the way it's
Hey,
supposed to
look at
work.
all these kids.
It's a wave of blue.
Wait a minute. We've got to take a look at all these guys in blue T-shirts here. Peter, fan over there. Look at that.
You know, Bob, I'm kind of feeling bad for Kathy right now because she doesn't have any student neighbors to come around and help her out.
Oh. No.
No, that's not true. I think the lady across the brook rents to Westfield State College kids.
Ah.
Yeah,
I believe she does, yes. Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody out there, all you students, would you all shout out to me the name of your university? I'll do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. What's the best university in the entire system of Massachusetts? What's the best university in the entire world?
Oh, boy.
There we go.
I'm having flashbacks from the parade.
Yeah. Now, here's another thing. Would you all shout out where you're going to be helping out our community? Just everybody shout out where you're going to be today. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
If you got that one, you're doing
Hey,
good.
Bob, you know
all
what?
that, Bob?
There's so many different ones that means they're going to be everywhere.
Oh, they're going to be all over
Well,
the
let me
place.
tell you, there's actually some business folks that have joined on with this day too. Andy Alexak is donating some mulch that they're going to be doing over here on Municipal Playground.
So they're going to be working for you as City of Westfield.
Amelia Park is getting a makeover in the gardens and things like that. So they're not just walking up and down the streets, picking up trash. There's projects designed for them, and it's pretty cool when the business community, the college, and the city can all get together and figure out a project on a day like this.
Beautiful.
It's a
got
home run.
lucky today,
It's a
too.
home run. Yeah.
Yeah, the Westfield State students are learning all kinds of different things as they be educated. They get trained at Westfield State to go into the world as teachers, as criminal justice majors, or they as policemen, as nursing. There is a variety of things. Kathleen, you graduated from Westfield State, didn't you?
I did. I was the class of 1969, and we actually have a reunion coming up this year, so I've been up there quite frequently at meetings with Kathy Bradford.
Ah, gotcha. So you are 40 years out? 30?
50 years out.
50
50.
years out.
They get you into college when you were 3 back then.
That's very true. That's very true. But when I was at Westfield
accelerated
State,
program.
it was right after they moved uptown.
Were you at Westfield State College? Was Teachers College? Was that where? What was the name of your school at that point?
It was, when my brother went, it's a good question that you asked, Bob. When my brother went, he's a little older than I am, it was Westfield State Teachers College.
Right.
And it might still have been that, but I think it changed to Westfield State College shortly
Did
after.
they still have the trolley going up Western Avenue when you
Yeah,
went?
no, we rode horseback.
Okay.
We walked 3 feet of snow barefoot uphill.
Both
Both
ways.
ways.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but anyway, Bob, when I started there, it was in 1965, my freshman year. I actually, for those of you who know the name, the Kathy Dower Center, I was that group, that wonderful group that went to the World's Fair in New York City with Kathy Dower. And
Catherine Dower Center
Dr. Catherine Dower
for the
Gold.
Fine and Performing Arts. The former
She
Juniper
left
Park
all
School
her
is
money
right
to
now.
it. And
Yeah.
I will tell you more about Kathy Dower. As you know, I'm at Westfield Theater Group with the Westfield Women's Club. Kathy used to send me ticket money to donate to someone who I felt couldn't afford to buy a ticket to the show.
Wild. Wow.
And that was our Kathy Dower. But I actually
You
knew
trained
her.
as a student you graduated with a degree in what? Education?
Most of us were education. Yeah, most of the people there at the time were either elementary or secondary.
And how many years
education.
did you teach
Andy
it?
Alexak being one of them.
Ah.
I graduated with Andy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I taught. Well, I've spent 50 years in the school system. 40 years I did my student teaching in the same place that I ended up teaching, actually.
I see. Hey, why don't we play some music and show what's happening here? I think they're taking their picture. They're having all their pictures taken.
Just going to see the back of their head. Bob.
Yeah. Oh, we're just going to see the back of their heads.
blue wave.
This is
Well, we
Hudeo.
should take a break,
Hi,
though,
Tom.
because you're 20 minutes over.
Gotcha. Hey, everybody. A year ago, this was the song that was #1. This is the clean version, incidentally, Mayor Brian.
That's good,
You've
Bob.
ever heard of Maroon 5?
Yes, I have.
Cardi B. Have you heard of Cardi
I
B?
have. I'm hip.
Yeah. Girls Like You. Now, I'm not speaking about Girls Like You, Brian, because
Thank
that
you.
doesn't, no, it's Mares Like You.
When I heard Cardi B, I
Mares
thought he was
like
going to go into Yellow Bodak. That would have been horrible.
Really. Girls Like You, Maroon 5.
It's been 24 hours, I need more hours with you. We spent the weekend getting even, ooh. We spent the late nights making things right between us. But now it's all good, babe. Roll that backward, babe, and play me close. Cause girls like you run around with guys like me till sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah. Girls like you love fun and yeah, me do what I want. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah. I need a girl like you. I spent last night on the last flight to you. I took a whole day up, trying to get way up. Ooh. We spent the daylight trying to make things right between us. But now it's all good, babe. Roll that backward, babe. Let me go. Cause girls like you roll around with guys like me till sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah. Girls like you love fun and yeah, me do what I want. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah. 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 I need a girl like you.
Not too long ago, I was dancing for dollars. No, it's really real if I let you be my mama. You don't want a girl like me, I'm too crazy. Where every other girl you meet is fugazi. I'm sure them other girls were nice enough, but you need someone to spice it up. So who you gonna call? Cardi? Come and rev it up like a Harley. Why is the best food always forbidden? I'm coming to you now doing 20 over the limit. The red light, stop. I don't play when it comes to my heart, let's get it though.
Like you, like me till sundown. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah. Girls like you love fun and yeah, me do what I want. When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah. I need a girl like you, yeah. I need a girl like you.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Yes, yeah. Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It is Hoot Day, everyone. September 3rd, 2019, and
students
counting.
are deploying.
2019 to Anno Domini, Bob.
Oh, yeah. We're in Ken's Den now. Wow, it's Tuesday any longer. So it's Anno Domini. Hey, Ken, you want to introduce who we've got here on Hoot Day, celebrating Westfield State's Helping Out Our Town Day? Who do we have?
He just leaves it flat.
He just
That's a nice intro. I like it.
That. You know,
like
why don't you just turn around and say, hey, look, John is here.
No more than that.
How
Let's
are
give
you
him
guys all doing?
State Rep John Vilas.
How's it going, guys? Great
State
to be here.
Representative John Vilas. John, you've done this maybe 3 or 4 times, I think. Down here.
I feel like I've done it every year that I've been in, obviously with the exception of last year when I was in a different country.
Yeah.
But I've done it every year, and I got to tell you, it's a great thing to see these students come out here, wake up early, because when you're in college, this is early.
This is very early.
Oh my gosh!
And get out there into the community and do their thing and contribute to this community. So it's a great thing.
Did you have a piece of advice that you would give college
he's
students?
really put me on the spot now.
Yeah. What would be your advice as a person who went to college, university, and graduated and went on to become a state rep? What's your first bit of advice?
To be honest with you, having nothing to do with anything that I've accomplished or not accomplished, it's just to take it in. I look back at my days. I went to undergrad at University of South Florida, and I was in Florida about 2 weeks ago on business. It happened to have me in Tampa, and I just was at a Panera Bread, of all places, across the street from USF, University of South Florida, and just thinking about the memories, things that I had done, friends that I had made. I mean, it literally seems like it was yesterday, and it was 12 years ago. So just to take that in, stop, break, pause, breathe, and remember that what you're going through right now are going to be some of the best memories you have in your life. So just to in addition to your studies, in addition to everything else, take it in and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if you guys ever felt this, but for you, Kathy, you look back, and isn't it a touchstone? Isn't it that your college years, something or other about those college years for me, Mark, I can't forget it.
Mm-hmm. I think you're correct. I think that it changes your view. It's the first time that, of course, I lived at home, so my experience was different from people who dormed. But even so, it's a step towards the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, John, you graduated from the University of South Florida. What did you major in?
International relations with a minor in political science.
Really? So back then you knew that you were going to go into public service?
Yeah, I had an idea, absolutely. But back then, and I'd say even like now, my number one love is international affairs. I love domestic politics. I love state politics. But I'm far more interested in some of the bigger global pictures, if you will. I mean, I got to be honest with you, the reason I'm a few minutes late is because I was listening to a podcast on the Israeli-Palestinian situation, and that is my love. That's what I'm absolutely passionate about, and in many respects, getting involved in government is a way to get to a bigger goal in my eyes. But I love it. So I've always been fascinated by the world, and you realize how insignificant, and that's probably not the right word, you are as a human being when you get out there and you see the rest of the world. And you also realize how fortunate we are here right now, no matter what we got going on.
With you being it's a major now,
correct?
Right? With you being a major now,
a major in what?
The U.S.
United States Army,
U.S. history.
Major in U.S. history. No.
Major U.S. Army National Guard, right?
Yeah, U.S. Army Reserves, not the National
Army
Guard.
Reserves. With you being a major, does that give you anything or help you out with the world politics you're interested in?
I think what it does is it enables me to be involved in a certain type of mission that's out there that reservists are eligible for. There are these missions called DILS missions, where essentially they send U.S. service members to all parts of the world with a specific focus on Africa, because Africa over the next 20 to 30 years is going to be a real hot spot, and we kind of go over there and we give our thoughts on human rights. There's this law called the Leahy Law. Essentially what it does is, and I'm drastically oversimplifying this, but if you provide arms to another nation, and it's named after the senator, Patrick Leahy, if you provide arms to another nation prior to the delivery of those arms, you have to give them the equivalent of human rights thoughts, human rights
trainings,
laws,
things,
trainings.
yeah.
Thank you, Pete. That's the word I was looking for. So being able to participate in that, I mean, that type of stuff, living in those austere Spartan conditions in a place like Africa and other parts of the world, that's the type of stuff that I really, really look forward to.
I don't think you're underestimating Africa right now, because we kind of see the start of it right now, and I think 20 years, that's what we're looking at.
And you're really going to see China in the next 15 to 20 years.
China is truly a superpower now.
Yeah, well, they've been a superpower, but you're really going to see that tension, I think, between us and China really play itself out, specifically with China and something they've got going called the Belt and Road Initiative, where they're using development and developing oil fields and stuff like that to, in many respects, get involved with the geopolitics of the nations they are. So there's a lot going on in the world right now, and unfortunately, and I don't mean to bring it back here, but one of the things that I sit back and kind of look at the national dialogue right now, the presidential politics right now, one of the things that I feel is woefully absent from the debate is kind of this international, national security stuff that's going on, and so much pie-in-the-sky nonsense back home.
Doesn't it seem like a diversion to you? Everything that the general people in the United States see every day on their national news has nothing to do with what's really going on in our spot in the world.
Well, let me put you right now. So I'm going to leave you guys in about 3 minutes. And I was I was reading the Boston Globe headline yesterday, and I was absolutely irate. And here's why I was irate. Don't get me wrong, we've got an awful hurricane right now, Dorian right now, that is absolutely pounding, where it's pounding right now.
Record-breaking.
But then I saw that headline, and then I went to the next headline that was about, students picking up, sofas and stuff like that previous students had left for them out in Boston. And then I saw another headline about Kevin Hart being in a car accident, stuff like that. And the thing that I did not see is what I'm going to do right now, which is to put a suit on right now and pay a respect to a Green Beret who was killed in Afghanistan on August 21st.
Oh, my God, yeah, sure.
Exactly. Nothing
Our
at all.
priorities are jacked up as a society.
I know.
Yeah, we often forget, we overlook. It becomes so we're callous to this, aren't we? Yeah. And every day, somebody who is serving our country in an armed services, the things happen, and you recognize those. So give a shout out to this soldier,
Sergeant Major,
Mass Sergeant, Mass Sergeant Figueroa. He lost his life in Faryab province in Afghanistan on August 21st. In small arms fires, which really is a firefight, gun battle. And again, he's a Green Beret who had done multiple deployments. And it was an absolute honor yesterday to wake up and go over to Springfield And that's just because that's what the Mass Live article, that's one of the ways where the procession was going to go from Westover to Curran Jones in West Springfield. Just to be there and salute as he came by, because don't get me wrong, it's important, all the other stuff that we going on right now. But I've said it countless times on Veterans Day, Memorial Day, all that stuff. But you take away that sacrifice, America is the greatest nation on this earth. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But make no mistake about it, if the United States military were to make an announcement tomorrow, a PSA announcement, that we are no longer going to fight at all, we'd be invaded by every single direction, north, east, south, west, and we would cease to exist. So it's always important to keep them and their sacrifice in mind.
John, as you look at the new year in the Congress in the state, what's the biggest challenge for you? What is the thing that we need to tackle more than anything else?
My humble opinion is we need to start looking out for this is going to come off the wrong way, but the middle class, the working class again. So you've got a political environment right now, I think, where much of the conversation is focused on the rich and the ultra poor, the ultra rich and the ultra poor. And lost in that shuffle is the John Doe and the Jane Doe.
And that middle class is slowly lowering itself right now.
Absolutely. You're seeing it manifested itself in any number of ways. So obviously I'm going to go down there. I'm going to participate in all these debates, these robust debates, but I'm also going to try to bring back some of the, it's often referred to in national politics as kitchen table issues. Yep. At the end of the day,
yes.
when people go to bed or when they come home and they talk to their family members, they want to talk about, taxes, their roads. They want to talk about, what's important to them in the here and the now. I've seen in the past 2 years in the political discourse this conversation kind of venture away from that stuff, and we get caught up again in these pie-in-the-sky litmus test issues that have absolutely zero effect on the average John Doe, Jane Doe, and to me it's absolutely beyond frustrating. So I'm going to try to push back on that and bring it back to that discourse where I think we should be. At the end of the day, me certainly, and I think other people, when you get into elected office, when you raise your hand and say, I want to run for office, I think on some fundamental level, what you're saying is, I want to help make life better for other human beings. I think elected officials have ventured away from that too much.
Absolutely.
Sure. Wow. Being practical. We'd like our legislators to be practical, like we try to be as citizens, I suppose.
I think it's
all right, Bob. We gotta let him go because he's gotta head over to Springfield.
All righty. Hey,
West Springfield.
John Vilas, State Representative John Vilas, who represents how many?
So I am a little history level. Well, not history. That's probably the wrong word.
Well, so why not?
I'm one of only 7 state civics. Thank you, Kenny. Yeah. I'm one of only 7 state reps who represents one city or town. There was a time when the Westfield state rep, I'm saying Westfield because Westfield's always kind of been the epicenter of the district, but every state rep represents around 40,000-ish constituents.
Sure.
Westfield's one of those communities that continues to grow. So I have one city or town, and to be honest with you, after this next redistricting, after this census, the 2020 census, Westfield state rep may have only a part of Westfield, to be honest with you, and a conversation's already beginning to happen about what precincts and wards are going to go to who else out there because Westfield continues to grow. So I'm one of only 7, another one being Aaron, Vega, and Holyoke, whereas their population is not moving upward as much as ours. So some interesting things. It's an interesting political season in the Whip City here.
Yeah, yes, it really is.
We're going to have a lot of fun with that in October, Ken, and probably Tina, and doing a lot of interviews.
Before I go, is there a debate scheduled for the mayoral city council stuff?
It will be happening. Typically, it's been done over at the senior center, but it's not going to be big enough. They're looking at putting it in over at the Tech Academy.
Okay.
Both the mayoral and the candidate.
Because we've got the mayoral. We've got a primary in what? 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, the 24th.
24th.
And Hope Tremblay's going to keep us in the loop, so we'll be airing all those live.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
So WSKB is right on it. And
Channel 15, Bob.
Oh, Channel 15. Channel 15.
You guys are all on everything. That's all there is to it. You're on it all. We're
on television.
I'm the king of all media.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay,
I just want to say this before I go. This right here, I've always said this, and I wish I could be on it so much more, but, that local community radio, there's not enough of it. There's not enough local community newspapers and what you do. And it's not lost on people like myself in government that a lot of times it's the same people contributing over and over and over again. Whoever it was, that the greatest threat to a democracy is apathy. Yep. Whoever said it, I think it might have been Thomas Jefferson. This is kind of the way that you push back on that, in my opinion. So, to the four of you, keep it up, and thank you.
Oh, thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
And thank you for all of your good work, and we wish you the best season ever.
I'm going to put on a suit right now in less than 25 seconds, maybe out of the back of my car.
We
See you
won't.
guys.
We don't call you Superman for nothing.
Hey,
All right,
everybody, it's Hoot Day in Westfield, and hey, how about playing that Earth, Wind, and Fire song, September, which is
Sounds
always
good
a
to
good
me.
one to as this first week. So September, and then we'll talk what's happening on Ken's Den.
Do you remember when it first started? September, love was changing my mind. Tender, while chasing the clouds away. Our hearts are ringing in the key that souls are singing as we dance in the night. Remember how the stars roll the night away. My thoughts are with you, holding hands with your heart to see you. Only blue dark and love. Remember how we knew love was here to stay. Now December, found the love we shared in September. Only blue dark and love. Remember true love we shared today. Some bell was ringing, our souls were singing. Do you remember? Never a cloud day.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com. Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
8:44 in the morning. Today is the 3rd day of September in the year 2019. Anno Domini. This is the Den, Ken's Den. Ken Stomsky behind the microphone. In front of the Behringer mixing board is Peter Cole.
And behind the JVC camera.
Camera meow. Then Mother Kathy Palmer and Bob Plass is here. Bob, you and I are both traveling next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Best of.
And he's going to be...
No, you guys are going to be here.
And you're actually gone for several weeks, which means we're not going to be able to talk Big Brother.
Oh, my God.
Gee, Peter.
So when you get back, that's actually when AHS, American Horror Story, 1984, is starting up.
Oh, man. And I am
Have you seen any of the previews?
Oh, I've never been... Oh, yeah.
I'm not ready for that.
No, that's Big Brother. That's not a horror
We're talking
story.
AHS right now.
I don't have that one.
Oh, yeah.
I had at least I had Big Brother.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, for Christ's sake, you two.
Boom, boom. It is scarier.
It looks like a very creepy season.
This is the worst I've...
It's actually horror. It looks like horror.
I'm really frightened about this season. I am really frightened about this season of American Horror Story. It takes place at a camp. There are slashers and there are clowns. Honest to God, I don't need a slasher or a clown in my life. And I am so frightened. I don't even watch the
Are you scared of both clowns and slashers, Bob?
Really?
Are you scared of both clowns and clowns?
Oh,
Yes,
clowns!
yes.
Clowns do it to me. The carnival season, that was a rough season for me to watch.
And what was the name of the clown in American Horror Story that John Carroll Lynch plays every season? Krusty the Clown?
No.
No. What's his name?
Shifty or something like that.
He is a dirty clown. Dirty in the sense that his clothes are all stained, and he has this huge. It's scary stuff. So they're doing all the 1984 movies, all those horror movies, Kathy. They're doing Halloween, and it's going to make
Twisty, Bob. Twisty is the clown's name.
Twisty the Clown. Oh my God! Doesn't that?
I've never watched this show at all. What season is it? How many seasons?
Do you have to have like a pay service for that?
I think it's on FX. FX.
I don't even have cable anymore.
I
Channel 9.
know it's on a
How many
broadcast station.
seasons? Isn't the 9th season of it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm watching a twisted little show called The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I've seen it.
About superheroes.
Yeah, I've not seen all of it, but
it's twisted.
It's twisted.
It's good. The writing's really, really good, actually.
And I started watching this season. It's called Carnival Row with Orlando Bloom.
I saw the preview for that.
Oh,
you should see the finale of the season finale for The Boys. It is so twisted, it'll blow your mind.
It's about Marvel comic characters.
No, it's about superheroes that are run by a corporation.
Oh, gotcha.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, yeah. The Boys.
I came down to reality the past few weeks, and I've been watching the all-new episodes of Good Eats with Elton Brown.
See, I can't get that right now because I don't have cable.
And last night, or Sunday night,
Good Eats Reloaded.
Well, no, it's not Reloaded.
Oh, The Return.
The Return. A whole half-hour special on immersion circulators.
Immersion circuit. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Is that what I use to make a stew?
No, that's an immersion blender.
That's an immersion blender.
What is an immersion? What was it called?
Sous vide is the technique that this is in play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a immersion circulator. It heats and pumps water around, so you have a constant temperature.
Yes.
The French technique is sous vide.
Sous vide, yes.
Ah,
So you
gotcha.
can cook like your meats for 20 hours at like a very low temperature, and then you just throw them on the grill for about 5 seconds, and they're perfect.
Uh-huh. I'm not taking 20 hours to cook anything.
No, you plan ahead, Bob.
Oh, I plan ahead. Hey, guess who joined us? Brent Bean.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, morning. Brent Bean is on our
Ambulance
city
call.
council.
I show up and the sirens blare.
I hear your siren and I raise you one.
Yeah. Hey, Brent.
Awesome.
You are you are a regular on Ken's Den, aren't you?
Yes, not in the most recent months, but that's another discussion. But yes, I am a regular.
He got crowded out though because other
not
people
as
were
regular
interested.
as some.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, because
He would come on when nobody else wanted to come on, and now everyone wants to come on.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I've been a filler all my life. That's fine.
Hey, today is Hoot Day. All those wonderful students, they're out there.
great.
Where are they going?
They're heading over to Boys and Girls Club, some of the municipal lots that we have in town.
They're going to Westfield on weekend store. I know.
Westfield on weekends,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Central Baptist Church.
George's Jewelers, the Athenaeum.
They're CrossFit down over by the Big Y. They're cleaning that area.
Amelia Park.
Amelia Park. They're also going over to the YMCA, and I'm trying to. Fort Meadow School. We did a little visit with 4 students to help greet the elementary school kids at South. What's it? What's the one off of
South Middle?
Southampton Road School.
Southampton. What do you call that?
They dressed up as
Superheroes?
superheroes.
Southampton Road
Yep.
School.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the kids
That's
got a
what you
kick out of
call it.
that. So that's always a nice thing. This is a weird. Usually it would fall on the same day
Yes.
as our Westfield State's first day, as well as the public schools, and it happened to not do that this year. So
Yeah. They've been in school session since when? Thursday?
Yeah, last Thursday.
Thursday
Yeah.
they started.
Yeah. Why did the school system open early? Is it because of a lot of snow days?
Yeah.
Or
You know,
how does that work?
I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously it's 180 school days.
Yeah.
You know, they got to be in. So, however, the calendar kind of shakes out, and I'm sure there's some professional development days. And
They did 2 right off the bat.
yeah, so that, I know my wife's a guidance person at Westfield High School, so she has to go in 3 days before via contract. So. It worked out fine. It worked out fine. I know the kids got a kick out of it at Southampton Road, so
Yeah.
it was a good thing for them.
Wonderful. Hey, Kenny, you're going to have Brent on the on your show for sure this season because he is running for something other than his life.
He's running away from something?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What's that going to be like? If there's how many people are running for city council this year?
So there's as far as at-large goes, at-large city council, I think we have 13.
And
Which
that,
didn't qualify. Which
Actually,
one?
that's
that's not enough for a primary for that.
Yeah,
Right, it's
actually,
one
we have,
short.
we have 12 because Nick Morganelli said he was running in Ward 1 now. I don't think he's withdrawn papers yet for that, but
Yes.
that's where he's leaning.
Got it.
So 12, but we have one candidate running for mayor as well as at large. Mm-hmm. So that really is a little confusing how that works.
Can you do both at the same time?
Yeah, you can actually run. You can run it. The
I mean, it's not
ethics
good.
and finance, campaign finance and ethics will have some kind of ruling in the sense of if you can serve both. But I believe everybody you can run, which is a little weird, but you can run for multiple spots. It does
I
seem
did
kind of
not know
strange,
that.
but nonetheless, it
Does. How
It's
does
not
so-
good form, but you can.
Could you vote for him twice?
Sure.
How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little when you're running for mayor and at large is one thing, but when you're running for at large and in a ward seat's another, right? So I would think you can't serve 2 city council seats, obviously, but we've had like state reps run for that were city councilors,
Right.
finish out their seat. We had someone in Springfield that did that, someone in Holyoke that did that. So there is some precedent in some ways to run like that. Again, a little confusing. I don't know if the voters will react well to it, but
Yeah. When's the primary?
the primary is
24th.
the 24th. It's that Tuesday.
And then on the 25th, we'll know what's going to happen in October.
I see.
yeah, you're right.
And then
And, the election's November, but things are going to happen
Interviews,
on Channel 15 in October.
To shake out,
yeah. Everyone's going to get a shakedown.
And how does that work, Kenny? You bring everybody who's a...
So this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to have, I think it's 7 or 8 questions I wrote up. Each and every candidate gets asked the same questions.
Wow.
All right.
So it's fair across the board.
It's fair across the board, and there's no way to say, okay, well, you gave him a softball question. You must be biased. No, everyone gets the same exact questions.
And what you traditionally do is you give them a couple of minutes at the end for a soapbox.
Absolutely. That's the only time there's going to be any variances. But shortly after the primary, email invites will go out to each and every ward and at-large counselor to schedule a time slot. I actually have 15 of them. 15 that are going to be available because I have 5 Tuesdays in October.
Oh, got it. That's good.
And they're all going to be the same length, the same amount of time on the break halfway through. No musical break. It's just a break for station ID. So everything's going to be fair across the board, and that information will be going out right after the primary.
I will say this: it's a great opportunity that Ken provides to at least get some of the information out about the candidates. I mean, people think they get enough with just maybe reading a newspaper or seeing the debate that usually happens once in the city.
Social media posts.
Yeah, you need multiple ways to get the information, and that's the way it's kind of trending, in my opinion. It used to be, you could go door to door or hold a sign, or there was a lot of one-offs that you could pull out. You need now to do a myriad of things to really get your name and your information out. And I think for all the candidates, and I'm sure they'll say the same thing, that it gives a great service to the town because they can sit in their own room or in their living room and listen to some of the candidates.
Right.
So
I would say that the informed citizen is the most important thing that we can have in America as far as voting is concerned.
I agree.
And so if you're a citizen who goes into the voting booth without being informed first, you're not doing your job as a voter in a way. As a citizen, you've got to know who's running and make your decisions based on who you think would be best for the job.
And I need to interject here, Bob, too, that when Ken runs the interviews, he's trying to pick the questions tailored to the big needs in Westfield.
Sure.
So it's not like he's going to ask, how do you feel about the roof of the Congregational Church?
What do you think about presidential politics? That has no business.
He's going to ask questions that are pertaining to Westfield, that are important to our situation.
Local.
So if people can't watch during that day, they can always check it again later on 15, and they can hear what every candidate thinks about some of our more important issues.
And I think once we're done recording each and every interview, I want to line them up one after another and put them up on 15 several times and announce in the paper when they're going to be running.
And it's a great reference for people to catch a little bit of a shot of what every candidate's going to stand for.
I'll even do that work for you, Pete, so that you don't have to.
That's fine.
All right, we heard that.
I'm also making a command decision on the 350 stuff. I was trying to come up with a weekend to air all the. We had over 16 hours so far of 350 programming.
Yeah, I saw that. I really wanted to do a whole day exclusive of the 350, but we can do that again.
No, we're going to do it Thanksgiving, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
How terrific is that?
Everybody's back in town.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Watch all the 350 stuff.
Okay, plan that out with me a few days in advance so so I can get a press release out to the paper.
Yeah, I wanted to announce that, but I think that's a perfect time to do it whenever we're back home.
I happen to have a contact at the paper. I can get that press release out for you.
Hey, why do you think do you enjoy campaigning, Brent?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets a bad rap in the grand scheme of things, because everybody's throwing politics around.
Oh man, yes.
But I do enjoy it. It kind of it's good to have elections. I mean, it forces us out there to kind of refresh our own minds on what's going on there, because you do get in your own little world, in your own little, it helps. It helps us all to
important.
do that.
It's important.
Gets you out of the echo chamber.
It does.
Yeah. One last thing. I wondered, you work for the Westfield State foundation. Is that, or tell us about that? What is that?
Well, I work for Westfield State University, and it just so happens that the foundation is run out of our office in institutional advancement. It's a separate entity. It's a 501c3 separate entity that when monies get raised, that's where the money goes. It goes into this foundation, which has several accounts and pools and of monies that are restricted and unrestricted.
And is that where you would donate to a scholarship, et cetera, et cetera?
It would, like the Bob Plass Memorial Scholarship.
Memorial, don't be doing memorial yet.
Would be something that's a restricted account.
Oh, right.
Restricted in a lot of ways.
I may be suffering from the Geritol disease, but no, that's I'm not ready for memorials.
You hear that tolling in the background, Bob? That means it's 9 o'clock. WSKB.
Hey, I got to get out of here.
And so, guys, thank you so much again. I really appreciate this. I know Westfield State does, and I know the city does as well.
We give a hoot for Westfield State University.
Give a hoot.
We love Westfield State, and thank you for putting on Hoot Day for all of us.
And I want to thank Hope Tremblay for coming and watching us right now, our only audience member.
She's the guest.
You are the audience.
She's replacing you in a minute.
That's all beautiful. Beautiful. She's got that covered easy.
Yeah, really. Hey,
thanks, guys.
It's a pleasure, Brent. Hey, everybody. I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks. You've got some great programming scheduled, and I'll see you on the 20. Well, I'll be back on the last Saturday in September. Tuesday in September. I don't appear on Saturdays, do I, Ken?
Get out and volunteer, Bob.
All right. Bye.
be provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
9:05 here on this third day of September in the year 2019. Anno Domini, this is the Den, Ken's Den, and we are in the final hour of the 4 hours that we're putting in here on Hoot Day. We're doing a live remote here at Park Square.
Yeah.
I was going to say the green, but I caught myself.
Either way, people know what you're talking about.
Now,
I do.
some things have changed in town over the past couple of months, and there are a few more changes that are going to be made. And I'm talking about the local paper. And from the local paper today, I have the is it managing editor?
Assistant
managing editor Hope Tremblay with us. Good morning,
Good
Hope.
morning, everyone.
How are you?
I'm good. It's beautiful out. How could I not be good today?
Isn't it a nice day?
It's beautiful. This is a great. I'm so glad you're remote today.
You were just able to walk right around the corner.
I was. It was nice. I got my coffee. I walked down. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I might just hang out all day. Who's next?
I got the real job.
I have a real job to go to after this, and Kathy has to go corral the cattle.
That's true.
You know,
I do.
I had a feeling something was kind of up and something was getting ready to change because I did hear some rumors from Patrick. They were very vague, but then I started to see your name show up in the paper again. Because I had known you were with the Westfield paper, and then you were at the Republican.
Yep.
And then I saw you back at the Westfield paper. So
Not in a creepy way. Not like I'm back.
So I started to figure some things out there. Now, I think a lot of folks here in town, there's concern now that our quote-unquote local paper now is owned by a big media conglomerate.
Well, you know, back in the day, it actually already was. Before Patrick owned it, it was owned for many years by Albright Communications, which is also a global communications company. Mm-hmm. But we had a local publisher, we have local staff, and then when Patrick purchased it, we had a local owner. We're back to continuing with the local staff. We have more resources behind us now because we are owned by Advance, mm-hmm. which is the parent company for the Republican, for Reminders Publishing, which is what we're part of. They also own, Condé Nast magazines. So if you read Vogue or anything like that, you've touched on the same company that owns us ultimately. They're everywhere. They have TV stations.
I used to get Condé Nast. Wasn't that magazine stopped?
That was a group. So it's now part of Advance.
Okay. Because I one of those travel magazines is either Condé Nast itself or it was owned by Condé Nast. The magazine just disappeared. I can't, for the life of me, think of which one it
I'm not
is
as
now.
well traveled as you, so I guess I don't know that one.
You know, the thing, I am a reader, but I don't always have a book around. I subscribe to, it has to be 11, 12 different magazines.
You're keeping everybody in business.
That's right.
And half of the subscriptions are just for me to accumulate data for every Tuesday morning.
Right.
But some of them, actually half of them are probably food and travel related magazines.
You read what you like.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you like local news, and that's why you read the Westfield News.
Yes. I do read the Westfield News. I am one of, I don't know how many thousands. I hope it's thousands and thousands.
It is thousands, yes.
What is the circulation?
Well, in 2 weeks, this is one of our exciting announcements. In 2 weeks, we're going to switch to a morning delivery paper, which hasn't happened in a very long time. So we're actually going to be delivered with our sister paper, The Republican. So if you subscribe to us, you'll get The Republican. If you subscribe to The Republican, you will get us. So we're going to be about 4,000 strong.
Wait a minute. Is it one subscription and you get both?
You do. You're going to. It's starting in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
that's breaking news there, Ken.
It is breaking news.
Well, I know I had a few special things that she was going to open up and release.
She didn't relate that to Joe Didi last week. She left him in the dark.
Hey, Joe and I were talking a lot about the Penny Saver in Southwick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
just teasing.
You have a subscription, and when we talk about subscription, we're talking about home delivery.
Yes.
If you have a subscription to the Republican, you're going to get the Westfield News delivered at the same time, and vice versa.
You are. And on Thursdays, you will get the Penny Saver in its new expanded form. I know, I'm throwing so many things. So now...
wait a minute.
So now stop Kenny Cold.
Is the price changing?
The price may be changing a bit.
Okay.
Yes. So,
to reflect the similar structure and cost of both papers.
Right. And I know you had jokingly recently, Amy, no, it was Lori Sapelic wrote a story about Big Y and the plastic bags, and you were stirring the pot about us, delivering.
I'm a professional crap stirrer.
But now we're actually reducing our plastic use, because instead of getting the Republican separately, the Penny Saver separately, the Extra, the Westfield News, you're going to get it together in one bag.
That's right. Lori posted for people who don't know the backstory here. Lori posted a question, a poll on social media.
Lori's one of our writers,
and she was looking for opinions on reducing plastic bags. And I, being the smartass that I am, I turned around and said, "Okay, well, do you realize that you yourself, the corporation, the company that you're with, uses these plastic bags? How are you going to keep your newspaper protected now if you don't have it in a plastic bag?"
There you go. So we're going to be reducing them.
You're going to be reducing them.
Yes.
You're still going to have them because you have to protect the paper from the weather.
And people say, well, why can't you put it in my mailbox? And you are not allowed
illegal.
to. It's illegal to do that.
That is a federal law.
It is. So we do have to keep it the way it is. There's, I think, one option someone came up with, and some scientific engineer genius came up with some sort of other packaging for newspapers, but it's so cost ineffective that it just doesn't make sense.
Now, I remember the old days when you used to have the second mailbox for the Penny Saver.
I was just going to ask that.
You can still have that. Yeah, you can still have that.
Can we get these plastic boxes from the Westfield News for delivery?
You can call our office and we will see what we can do for you. Fran's probably listening. Fran Smith is our general manager, and I'm
just
sure
volunteered somebody for something.
Well, Fran can make anything happen. So if folks are listening or watching and they want to find out if that's still an option, they can call and we'll let them know.
All right.
We'll look into it.
Something else before I go to break. The newspaper, it's going to a 12-fold format or something like that. What did I read?
It is, well, it's staying, I brought some copies. It's staying, the broadsheet that everyone's used to. We are doing a little bit of a more simple, easy to read layout format. And that enables us to bring more news inside too.
Okay.
So we are going to go to, because we are dropping eventually our AP. So we're going to be just local. So you were just talking in the previous show about local, and we've been doing that forever, but now it's going to be even more concentrated because, especially with the delivery with the Republican, you'll get your more regional or national news there, and then if you want to know what's going on in Westfield, Southwick, and the Hilltowns, you'll have this. So it's
I'm
going to be.
I'm not going to have to get my way through the Politico stuff in the second page there.
No, you will not. It'll be as local can be.
All right, and of course, local sports. I would imagine it's going to be very important to this.
Our sports editor, Chris Putz, has always done an amazing job, and he's going to keep doing that job. And you're not going to come to us for a Red Sox score, but you will come to us for a Little League score.
And you can always get a Red Sox score on one of these things.
Right.
But you can't always get the high school score. You know what I mean?
You can't always do that. But, hey, Google, give me the score. And, I might have just woke up a couple of people Googles.
I did that to myself the other day.
Yeah. You know,
I was on one of the radio shows and I said, "Okay, Google." I was in the control room. I said, "Okay, Google, play WSKB from TuneIn." And I took my headset off and I'm hearing myself like a couple of seconds later, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and it was my phone, and I was like, "Oh, I did it to myself."
I forget what commercial it is, but there's one commercial out right now that wakes up my Google speaker 4 times during the commercial, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know that it works when you command a Google through a radio or television. So bearing that in mind, Alexa, set an alarm for 9 p.m. tonight. Hey Google, set an alarm for 10 p.m. tonight. Thank you.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, you stinker! You just did it to my phone.
I have an iPhone, and Siri does not know what she's doing, so I don't have to worry about it. She never takes me where I ask her to. It's awful.
Remember when the Apple Maps first came out? People were driving off of cliffs and into ponds.
Well, we still have that problem in Westfield with Summit Lock, right? Or Sunset or Sunrise. There's like a residential
Summit
street
Lock?
that it keeps sending
That's Charlie
trucks
Madero.
to.
Charlie Madero's
Madero's
way.
way, yeah.
Sunset
So there's-
Drive and there's Sunset something else off of Pontusic.
Yeah, so it keeps
Yeah.
sending people up, and they're like these
Yeah.
truckers get there, like,
Trailer
where am
trucks
I?
get
Yeah.
up there. I've heard that. Yeah.
It did. It set an alarm. You stink. I gotta figure out how to get rid of it on this phone.
And if it set it on your device, I'm just wondering how many other devices.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to leave my radio on when
There it is. Look at it.
If you hear a lot of people screaming at you, Ken.
next time I do the radio broadcast, I'm going to leave my radio on at home next to my Google speaker, and I'm going to test that theory out to see what
At
happens.
least I figured out how to shut it off.
All right, 915 WCPC Channel 15 and WSKB 89.5.
I gotta.
I'll be the roundabout. The words will make you out and out. I spend the day away.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
One of our underwriters here at WSKB's Community Radio is Carson Center for Health and Human Services, a nonprofit organization located at 20 Broad Street in Westfield. They provided behavioral health and rehabilitation services in communities throughout Western Massachusetts since 1963. There are services for children, adolescents, adults, families, and couples. You can find them on the web at carsoncenter.org or at 413-572-4132.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
9:21 here on this third day of September 2019 Anno Domini. I have Hope Tremblay from the Westfield News with us. Is it still cool to say Westfield News, or should I actually be saying Reminder Publications?
Well, we're still the Westfield News. We are part of Reminder Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
We still have the same products we always did that come out of our Westfield office, which is the Westfield News, the Penny Saver, the Long Meadow News, the Enfield Press.
Mm-hmm.
We also do our once-a-year business journal.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have two other additional products that are coming out of our sisters, our cousins, whatever, our office.
And I want to jump right into those, as well as the Penny Saver. But you mentioned products coming out of the Westfield office.
Yes.
Is there still going to be an online version for the Westfield News?
There is still an online version. We have not changed it. There could be some fun tweaks coming up for sure. Reminder Publishing as a company is assessing its technology and all its products on the web. So now that we're part of it, we're going to be in that mix.
So right now, still an option?
Right now, yes, absolutely. And I don't think that will ever go away.
Excellent. I want to save the Penny Saver for later on, but you have some more publications here.
We do. So these have been produced by the Reminders for many years. Prime is a senior citizen, older adults focused.
I've seen that one.
And that's been
My
around.
mom used to work on that paper when she worked for the Reminder. She used to bring Prime all over the place. Remember the picture thing?
Yep.
You'd take a picture with Prime and she'd bring it on vacation. We got to take a picture.
We still do that with the Westfield News. I'm losing my headset here. We still do that. We actually have somebody. It was on this. Was it in here? And some folks who were at the Woodstock who took them. We have people who do that with the Westfield News, which I love. I think that's fun.
Oh, Marilyn McCoo is looking really good.
Isn't she look amazing? I don't know if that's wow. I don't know if she's had work done, Photoshop, whatever it is. It's working for her. She's gorgeous. And
wow.
She's like what, 80 or something? I don't know, 70s.
Something like that.
She's amazing.
Whenever I read this Prime magazine, I always think of you, Kathy.
Wow.
Because I look really good, right?
Right now, I think you're in your prime.
Okay, we're backing off this. Moving along there.
So anyway, we also have...
So people can see it?
Yeah, we also have Go Local, which this is like a magazine product that the Reminder has done, and it's been expanded now that we're in the fold, and it goes all the way down the Route 10-202 corridor. So the cover story this month is on Stanley Park. So we're really kind of incorporating and melding together the things we do. So now Reminder Publishing, we're one company. We have one large staff, and we're in two offices. So we have our East office, which is in East Longmeadow, and our West office in Westfield.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these other publications that you're showing us now, where are these available? Do they come in?
They do come. The Go Local is dropped in stores throughout the area, and Prime is in several locations in town, but it is at the Senior Center. I know that Tina has said they've been getting that for quite some time. It's popular there.
Good. Awesome.
This Go Local publication, it's the first time I've actually seen this.
Mm-hmm.
looks nice.
It is nice. Don't be so surprised, Ken.
You know, and it's not a it's not a tabloid. It's it's a full glossy magazine format.
It is, and it's got real stories in it about local places to go visit with your family. And it's got some great ads to, if you want to expand where you shop or check out a new place.
I got to get in on this and do like a food taste testing column.
Oh, you know what? I would. We could talk about that. I don't.
Kenny's all about the foodie.
I don't know if I could pay you, but if you just want to eat and tell me what you like, that's fine.
I can even take pictures for the food beforehand.
We don't want any after photos.
Yeah, because I'm used to taking the beforehand picture.
That's right.
Because
your Instagram.
Yeah, foodies
snapshot.
end up doing things like taking pictures of their food. I mean, it happens.
I do it.
Yeah. Kathy, have you ever taken a picture of the plate dropped down in front of you?
No. No.
Sometimes I've done it for stuff I've cooked.
Pete, have you done it?
Yeah. When I make a particular nice dish.
Mm-hmm.
My husband always, when he cooks and he's all proud of himself, he takes a picture of it and puts it on Facebook. Just so people know he does do domestic things.
I've done that, and Kathy and Peter have seen some of the things I've put up just me cooking.
But he doesn't invite us over, does he?
Oh.
I've gotten remnants of stuff.
Yeah.
Just because it looks good doesn't mean it tastes good.
All right, is this a Bob Plass thing again? Who's gone to Kenny's?
I still haven't been to Bob Plass's house. It's the running 5-year joke now.
Hope, have you been to Bob Plass's house?
I'm sorry to tell you, Pete, but I've been there multiple times.
See? It's just me now.
I had this conversation.
It's just
many times.
me.
I have a question with your two main publications
Yes.
for the news. You have the News and we have the Republican. When people are advertising, do they get a choice of one or the other, or does their advertisement go into both?
It's up to the advertiser how they want to do it. We have deals and combinations for different publications across the board. We actually have a combined 11 publications that come out of just the Reminder Publishing Office. Plus, there's some deals with the Republican, too.
Excellent. So they get a choice of what it is and where they want to post. And
Right.
Depending on which target audience you really want to hit. Because
Correct.
the Reminder publication kind of goes across from almost from teenagers to seniors.
Yes.
I mean, literally across the board.
Yeah, and that's important to try to get those younger folks involved in their paper too. We've done partnership with a teacher up at Westfield Intermediate School where her students write opinion pieces about something that's important to them in the school department, and we run them. I'm working with the Westfield Education to Business Alliance this year, and I've adopted a classroom at Paper Mill School, and we're going to be working on a newspaper where it's going to be a year-long project. So we really want to get those younger voices in our paper, too.
You mentioned opinion pieces.
Yes, I did.
So first off, Pulseline was an opinion piece. I in the days with social media now and websites, I really haven't seen much going on with the Pulseline.
No, it's kind of like video killed the radio star back in the day. Which of course didn't really kill because here we are on the radio. But social media kind of killed the Pulseline. Pulseline was the printed social media.
It was,
it really was. And Carl Hardigan and I have often joked that we would love to do a fundraiser, which is a spoken word Pulseline, like dramatic readings.
Oh, I can see Carl doing great
Pulselines.
with that because
I remember when Patrick did it as part of his show. He used to air Pulseline calls.
Carl's been writing a lot of articles regarding
he does mostly crime
events over at the courthouse.
Yes.
And he's also doing the police and the court log, and some of the writing with some of the things that go in there, that is Carl writing that stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing. That's the great thing about a local paper too, is you get to know the writers and their voice, and they're still presenting unbiased information, but you can tell who wrote it. And we were talking about op-eds. I know you want to talk a little bit about how we have those now, but Pulseline, just to wrap up Pulseline still exists. It's an email now versus a phone call. We would love for people to actually sign it, but then it's not as formal as a letter to the editor, but it's still existing in its current form. We run them when we get them. We just don't get them very often anymore.
Yeah, it takes some
wants-
effort to get down and pen one out in email instead of hopping on the phone and ranting.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't, we don't want to spend funds on someone transcribing like we used to in the day. We'd rather have someone writing actual news.
But you still have letters to the editor, though.
Absolutely, and I would love more letters to the editor. After the campaign is over, I'm going to invite all the newly elected city councilors to participate. We used to do that years ago on a rotating basis, a column. We've also invited department heads to do the same.
Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah.
We really want, it's not just local. It's your community paper, not just local.
Yeah. And anyone can send something in the letters to the editor. The thing is, with letters to the editor, they have to be signed.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, also, something that I've noticed in the letters to the editor section, if you would, I see a couple of op-eds from time to time there with the manager, and I think I might have seen a few written up by you, too.
You've seen a few. Yep, Mike Dobbs and I are kind of taking turns. Mike Dobbs, for those who don't know, is our managing editor of our entire company. He's been a longtime local news guy, covering like Springfield, Chicopee mostly, but he's known around, around the region. So he's been writing.
Now, what I see written by Mike in the letters to the editor in the Westfield paper, that's not necessarily geared or catered or written just for the Westfield news.
Some of it is, but we do share because we have sister publications that
he's
are
writing
weekly.
for the Pioneer Valley, really.
Yeah, he's really writing for the region, and a lot of his is a topic-based. He'll take something that might be a headline and expound upon his thoughts on it.
And you've done journalism for quite some time, so right now you're doing journalism and from time to time doing the op-eds now too.
I am. I'm writing almost every day, taking photos, covering. Tonight I have Southwick Select Board. That's still my beat. But I am writing like at least 2 columns a week right now. Usually it's a personal nature.
Give it about 6 months because I think I'm up to about 180 monologues now that I've had to write, and it will hit you like, geez, I've run out of things to write about.
Well, that's mine are personal, and going back to talking about being community and local and engaging people, I want them to feel like they know a little bit about me too. I'm not just someone behind a desk or in an office or that you see taking a picture. I want people to get to know me a little bit more and feel like we're one big family here in Westfield in a way. So I write about my family or something. Today I have a column about this beautiful 350th cake that's in front of us that's going away tomorrow and what it symbolized. And I talk a little bit about cakes that I remember having as a kid and cakes I've made for my kids and
Now you
got Ken. He's like, ooh, cake. We're talking about cake.
When I was living at home when I was a child, and not when
it sounds a little like Lake Wobegon
not like
days.
8 years, but 12, 13, 14, mature taste.
Yes.
For my birthday, I would always get rum cake from La Fiorentina. And
that's
now,
a trip into Springfield.
Yeah, now I am craving one of those. Thank you, Hope.
Sorry. You might have to take a ride downtown.
Road trip.
So are there, in the inside of the paper, other than some of the things you mentioned, are there any other big changes that we're going to be seeing?
Well, with the penny saver is our biggest change visually.
And the penny saver we're going to address after the next break.
Okay, we can talk
I
about
want
that.
to put some good time into that.
9:33?
Okay.
9:33, I agree. Pete, let's do a quick break because the penny saver is going to take a couple
Wait a
minutes
minute,
to
I
talk
got a
about.
song that you guys referenced.
I don't have the time because we have plenty of things to cover with the penny saver. Plus, eventually,
We could play a birthday song.
this morning, I'm gonna have
Kenny's raining on my parade.
I want to play a game with Hope too. So I need to make sure we have plenty of time.
I don't know. I'm pretty good at games.
You're gonna like this one.
Okay.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
9:35. It is the third day of September. In the year 2019, Anno Domini. This is Ken's Den.
So formal.
Yes, it is.
Now and then I just... there's no rhyme or reason with whatever I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Trust us, that's correct.
He wings it.
I don't want people to get, complicit. Is that the word I'm looking for? Complacent?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Complicit means something completely different, Ken.
We're
Okay.
complicit.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not compliant, though.
This is why I asked
Contribute
everyone
to
this,
the
okay?
delinquency of Ken.
Take a look at that if you haven't already seen it.
Yeah, you can see that quite well.
Yes, the penny saver.
The penny saver.
Big things going on with the penny saver
Huge
now.
things are going on with this penny saver.
All right.
Now, how long have we even had a penny saver? Do you know?
Over
It seems
60
like
years.
forever.
Over 60 years. This
Wow.
is definitely, it's older than me and all of us here.
Wow.
Now,
No.
It's not older than class.
Not older than Bob, no.
First off, this doesn't seem like a tabloid anymore.
It is not a tabloid anymore. It is a full-on broadsheet.
Broadsheet meaning it's just like the newspaper now.
Yes, broadsheet is the size and it folds in half. Yes.
Okay.
Versus a tabloid, which is like a prime, which you just open like a magazine almost.
Yeah.
So that's our first
That's some
change.
first
Yes.
inside baseball of
There
the
you
printing
go.
business.
There you go. And this, I have to point out, it's got this lovely blank spot, which we have to do because it's like a mailing kind of a thing.
Okay.
So,
That's where you put the mailing sticker.
yeah, so it's actually lasered on there.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
ooh,
it's like
okay.
laser sprayed. It's a process, a press thing.
This is the new original penny saver right now.
Yes, the original, because there's been some other penny saver, knockoffs, if you will, over the years, but this was the original one in this area.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about something about the Pioneer Valley or something like
I'm
that?
not talking about anything.
Okay. So right on the front page of the original new penny saver, welcome to the new chapter in the penny saver.
Yes.
Now, are you planning on always having some type of article right up on top of
Absolutely.
this?
Yes, this is this week's article. I'll give you a hint. It's coming out on Thursday. but
Kenny, you got an
this week-
advance copy.
No, this is last week.
Oh, last
last week.
We don't,
Oh.
I don't even have it yet.
Yeah.
It won't even be in the office
That
till
came out on the
tomorrow.
29th already.
So there will always be a real story on the front. This was sort of an introduction. This week's will be a story I wrote on Southwick's 250th celebration. that's
Which we're
coming up.
helping with.
Yeah, Pete and I are getting pulled in technically with
So
that.
and so is
Yeah.
Harry and a lot of
Yeah,
the
it's
committee
great.
members.
Absolutely. It's
All right,
gonna
we're
be-
sharing.
It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. But so that's going to be the cover this week, and then we're always going to have like a feature, which might be a little more regional on page 2. This was about the Big E food, which
I know, but I love that.
And Pete, now,
Oh yeah, we got a bone to
page
pick
2.
with that
All right, so you and I are so doing that
next year.
next
yes.
year. And if we don't have anyone from the Westfield News, I would love for you to invite Channel 15, Pete and myself, to cover that.
I'll see what I can do.
That might be a
see what I
fight.
can
It
do.
might be a cage match to get that assignment.
You know,
There's our reporter Peter Courier over there. He actually covered that event as well.
I have.
and wrote a
I
story
think we're
for
going to
the
fight you
Westfield
for
News.
that event next year.
Actually, you know what? I shouldn't have even bothered asking, because I think one way or another, we would be able to get
I'm sure you
media
could get,
passes
yes.
for Channel
Absolutely.
15.
And we could maybe
Pull up a chair,
broadcast
Pete.
live.
Maybe, depending on what we have for internet signal over there.
We got Peter Courier in the house, everybody.
Hello, Peter.
I was going to be on the radio today.
We never get to see your face, though, Peter. We always get to talk to you, and you write some fabulous articles for the paper. And I have to say, Hope, that when I read Peter's article, the couple that I've seen that I've been part of, boy, you do a fabulous job.
Oh, thank you.
It's very factual. There's nothing clipped that I didn't understand, nothing taken out of context. You do a great job. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's always good to hear.
Thanks, Kathy.
All right, so
in the
articles,
the penny,
the articles,
articles,
for the paper.
yeah. So we have a Westfield designated page, we have a Southwick designated, and we have some Hilltowns, because this product is going to our Hilltown neighbors.
Now, are a lot of these also runs from the newspapers during the week?
They're not. The articles are all original and unique to the Penny Saver. So this is like a separate weekly
Interesting.
newspaper. There might be some overlap with some of the notices, like the events and things like that, because we want to make sure everybody sees them as often as we can. But nope, these are all unique articles written for the Penny Saver.
That's big.
It's huge. We also have a dining and entertainment page, which sometimes will be regional because folks do like to leave the area on occasion. They like to go to Agawam.
Well, but is that part of it, since it's more regional? Is that shared between the Reminder and the?
Yeah. So we have a bigger staff because we have the folks who write, exclusively for the Reminder papers are no longer exclusive, and we're no longer exclusive.
But it gives some efficiencies too. That
Yes.
segment of the paper is
Yeah.
shared.
Even, I went and took pictures at Stanley Park, and there were some people from West Springfield. So I gave it to the Reminder folks who have their West Springfield edition.
It creates some efficiencies there.
Absolutely. And then we get more stuff in the paper, because I might not have go to an event in Agawam and know there was a Westfield person there. The Penny Saver, the other huge thing is we've got all these flyers in here. Now, these used to come in the Republican Extra. We have created plastic reduction by eliminating the extra. We also don't.
Oh, what about Liz Ramon's ice cream write-ups?
That will still be in the Republican.
Okay.
I know you don't want to miss it.
Kenny's like panicking over there.
Yes,
I don't ice cream.
I don't know if he's panicking or if he's thinking, "Ooh, I could write ice cream stories."
He probably is.
I was thinking ahead.
So this has, flyers we haven't honestly had in the Westfield News or Penny Saver in a long time, because it wasn't as big of a circulation. So now we have this much bigger combined circulation, and this is the place to be.
So instead of getting the extra, we
You're
are
getting the
now
Penny
getting
Saver.
Penny Saver.
And they will not, and if you subscribe to either the Westfield News or the Republican, you will get that in the paper. So again, in
And we're
one
talking
bag.
about the big Y's, the Stop and Shops,
Absolutely,
all the
Ocean
grocery
State,
stores.
all the big grocery stores.
I'm going to
around.
need 2 of these coming in my house, because as
Well,
it is,
you
we
can-
fight over the extra.
you can
the
come get one in
extra
the
is supposed to
office.
give us 2.
You can get one in the office. We do carry them in the office.
I'll
and if anyone's
save it
listening,
for you.
oh, there you go. Kathy will help you out with your coupons. But if someone doesn't
My
get
coupons?
it, call your coupons.
My coupons.
Call the office and dial 117 for Melissa Hartman in our circulation, and she will get you on our list to make sure you are receiving it. I got an email from someone who said they had sporadically received the Penny Saver, so I hope that person calls
And
us.
are you receiving the Penny Saver regardless of whether...
You are. You are. The Penny Saver is going to everybody.
Everybody. Now, if for some reason, I'm a Mr. Joe curmudgeon, and I don't want you throwing this thing on my yard, and I don't even want to bother reading it.
You can call our office if you have any questions about any kind of delivery. You can call us. You can actually call the Republican is actually the outsourced delivery. So they are at 788-1100. They're the delivery source now. So
they're the Grubhub.
So
right? The Grubhub of the news group now.
I suppose, the news hub. I don't know.
You call them and you get it delivered.
Yes.
Yeah. You see what I was doing? That that was really horrible. I'm sorry. That was bad. 9:44. I want to do a quick break, and then when we come back, I'll introduce a game that I want to.
Oh boy.
You can do both of them. You got two.
Peter.
You know what?
I know he's getting into this.
I think I will.
See what happens when you're out and about doing your job.
He's not going to get the music. Will he get the music out of the monitor?
Yes.
A little bit? Okay,
Yes.
good. All right, that'll work. So let's do our break. We'll be back right after this.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield. Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
All right, it's 9:45, and before I get into this game, we were talking during the break about a game we play, Making the List. And
who won last time?
Bob won.
That's
and
right.
He picked Disney tunes. So every now and then I don't have a full crew. And you remember every so often I'll have somebody come in just to make sure we have enough people to play. And Hope remembers this game.
From when we did it at the Westfield News.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
And she showed interest. So now she'll be in the rotation. She's in the rotation now.
Yeah.
So
the lesson today for Peter and I is look down, or else you will get recruited.
Yeah.
Don't make eye contact with Bob Plass.
Never. Harry Rock and Bob Plass.
I was on. He roped me into Harvest Days years and years ago. I was on that committee for a while.
Yeah.
But it was fun because that's my jam.
Yeah. So another game that we have, and we do this on Ken's Den whenever we have new folks on, is called Ken's 10.
Oh my.
Now, Hope and Peter, Ken's 10 is a list of rapid-fire questions I send off in your direction.
Oh, my. And we just shout out an answer, or are we taking turns?
There are no right or wrong answers, but you have to choose from one of the two, and you have to do it quickly. You can't sit there and think about it.
Okay.
All right? And there are no right or wrong, as I mentioned. It's strictly your own humble opinion, and we will never, ever, ever judge you about anything that you say here,
and
ever,
we will
never
never speak of it again.
So I will go from Hope, and then I'll go to Peter.
Okay.
And we'll move on and go Hope.
Can
Peter.
Kathy be my phone a friend if I need one?
No, you don't need one.
Okay.
Number 10, Ken's 10. Crushed or cubed?
Crushed.
Cube.
They got the idea. Yeah.
Yep. They got the concept. Number 9, beer or wine?
Wine.
Beer.
I'm with you on that one.
Got you on that one, Hope. Number 8, resort or cruise?
Resort.
Cruise. I've only been on one cruise in my life, just for the record, so.
You guys couldn't be more opposite from each other thus far. Number 7, chess or checkers?
Checkers.
Chess. I'm not trying to be contrarian. Just
No, we want you to honest answers.
Genuine
Yeah.
answers.
Number 6, blade or electric?
Blade.
Wait, what are we talking about?
What are you thinking?
Shaver. Shaver.
Yeah, I can't. You probably don't, because I can tell by looking at you here.
It's been a long weekend, literally. Blade, I guess.
You know, I'm guilty too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, me too.
Number 5, Ken's 10. Rain or snow?
Grain?
Rain.
Oh, rain. I was like, grain. What is that? Rain.
I'm gonna have to, rain. If you had asked me about 10 years ago, I would have said snow, but I'm not.
10 years ago, you were just a little baby.
It's 15.
Okay.
Snow day, baby.
Still a
Snow
baby.
day.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 4. Now this one would be interesting because you're both writers. Pencil or pen?
Pen.
Pen. Can I do neither of the above? Keyboard.
Well, we all go there.
Again, because you're writers, this one might be interesting too. Number 3, desktop or laptop?
Laptop.
Desktop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've only agreed on one thing so far, I
Two
think.
things.
Two
things they've agreed on.
Okay.
Actually, 2 things. Number 2, spaghetti or fettuccine?
Fettuccine.
Spaghetti, but pasta's pasta. I could go with either.
I think you're the first one for fettuccine.
I like Alfredo.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
no, I think
and you know, the
that's it.
fettuccine noodle, it holds and grabs
That's
onto
right.
the
It
sauce.
holds
Better.
more sauce.
Somebody
Too
else
late to
said
change my answer.
fettuccine.
You said Alfredo. That
No, you can't change your answer,
okay, I
Peter.
guess I'm a spaghetti guy now.
And number 1, Ken's 10. Swing or seesaw?
Swing.
Swing.
All right. Thank you two for playing Ken's 10.
So do I get a prize? Do we win anything?
No.
I think I won.
You think you won? How do you get that out of this?
I don't know. I usually do, so.
Do you two usually have little contests in between each
No,
other
but
at
we
all?
might have to start. That would be fun. No.
All right, look what I started up here.
Apparently.
Because apparently he's always going to win anyways
I
now.
guess.
He's old school. He likes a desktop. Come on.
Old school.
There's nothing old school about that. If you know anything about computers, you know that desktop is the way to
I
go.
just like to take mine with
Because
me.
as it stands right now, if it was a desktop, it'd still probably be working. But now I have to look at Kathy's laptop because
You know what? You're absolutely right. I have a desktop that is probably, oh golly, it's got to be 20 years old, and it is still running.
Your desktop can vote.
And my laptop, which is 5, has totally died. I have that dreaded black screen.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, 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 dun. But as I said to Ken, it's not the end of the world.
I'm gonna-
I have
bulb burnt
almost
out.
everything on
The
you.
bulb burnt out on the LED.
I have a feeling it's just a video issue, and I'm gonna hook some things up to it and draw her data and her work off her hard drive.
I have a personal IT guy at home, so.
I did too, but she moved to New Zealand.
No, I
So-
just that's what my husband does. He teaches IT.
So because Kathy is so kind to me and she wakes up every Tuesday morning and comes in and deals with me, I'm gonna be her IT guy for
Nice.
for her laptop
Oh,
here.
you're just a big teddy bear.
Charity case.
Don't any of you, and I'm surrounded by
Don't spread
reporters
that.
now. Don't let anyone know that I'm actually a decent, nice guy. All right?
No, we try not to.
I'd hate for people to find out otherwise.
Keep that between you and me.
I think I have a column idea.
that he says to reporters, don't tell.
Can you just put it out there on the record?
I
Yeah,
did,
you
didn't
did.
I? Yeah. I had a column years and years and years ago in the paper. It wasn't a weekly column. It was like a monthly
what?
special, and it was a tech corner article in
Yep.
1,500 words or whatever. And
I think I remember that.
yeah, I tried to instruct people what HDMI cables were and
Now I ask
inputs
my
and
9-year-old.
outputs and- yeah. Are you basically saying something about my
No, I'm
intelligence
just
being that
no.
of a
I'm just
9-year-old?
saying. 15 years ago we needed the experts because the adults had to have someone teach.
Yeah.
They had to have that expert. Now it's like every little kid.
When people
my
come-
daughter literally took the remote from me the other day because I couldn't do something. She's like, give me that, Mom. I'm like, what?
Yeah, when I have folks come into my shop right now, they go, "Can you help me with this, or can you tell me how to do that?" I go, "No, do you have a 12-year-old nephew or
fifth
something
grader
like that? Yeah, just find them." But
I do always say
that's the
that as
truth.
a kid.
Actually, I think, did I send Amy to you, Peter? Our reporter, Amy Porter, got a new phone and she couldn't do something. And I think I was like, go ask Peter. He might know how to do that.
I actually love watching Amy report on something because she has the old-fashioned pad there.
Oh, I do too.
I do too.
And she's writing out in her shorthand and everything.
And it's funny because I never took shorthand. I have my own little thing I've developed
I have my
over
own
the years.
style of shorthand too.
They have that old, if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, that horrible thing people say, could someone write the story? And I'm like, no, I barely can remember what, So I have like little symbol, like an arrow facing down means downtown to me. So like I have all these little quirky things that I do.
Yeah, it's like the language used in text and SMS now.
Yeah. So if someone ever found my note, like if I lost my notebook, don't be worried your secrets are getting out because no one would read what I wrote anyway.
About the same thing for you, Peter?
Yeah, you're making me feel a lot better about my terrible handwriting.
Do you write things down? Yeah, you write things down. You used to. I haven't
usually.
seen you. Yeah.
And I have my own little shorthand too. I don't think anybody's ever taught me any other kind.
How on earth did you manage to get all of that information from the talk on Professor Allen?
Well, I'd known a lot about it before I sat down with Captain McCabe, I think about a week before.
Okay.
All right,
wasn't that a great talk?
It was interesting, yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep some of the mystery alive because that's going to air on Channel 15. But I was not granted access to the slides.
Right.
Because it's an open investigation, really.
And I also understand that we're trying to run that again as a 350 lecture.
I heard that rumor.
That's coming around the corner too. So that's going to be presented again. So we need to figure out when that's going to end up going on to Channel 15. But that was a great, full-size, large, intense article.
Yeah.
On that front page. I enjoyed reading it.
Yeah, good.
I knew a lot about it as well because of the Facebook group that I have. You're from Westfield, if you remember. And that's come up a lot. So it was nice to see that, I don't want to say breath of life, but, that was a pretty cool lecture.
Yeah.
I am running up to 9:56 in the morning. Peter, I want to thank you for not freaking out for getting pulled over to talk with us on the air.
Hey, I came over voluntarily. I just didn't speak voluntarily. That's all.
and it's what we do.
And Hope, I want to thank you for coming down to fill us in on everything that's going on with the Westfield News and the Penny Saver. Is there anything else that we need to get out that I didn't cover or that we might have forgotten?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I just I'm excited about the changes and continuing to be the local paper and being even more local than we have been in the past. And I'm thrilled to be back. This is my third time back working with the Westfield paper. I started in 1995, was my first stint, and I left for a while and came back, and then I left and I came back. So it's just, it's home. It's home for me.
And still home and local, and people shouldn't be worried about that.
And I love telling the stories you may not know. Like in the Penny Saver, I write about the Holy Trinity Polish Festival, and I actually I took my daughter with me, and we learned how to make the pierogi, and I wrote about it. But those kinds of stories are what I love to do.
So if you know how to make pierogi, I'm going to have to talk to you in December because
not like Ken does.
I don't know.
I make them
good.
I make them, and it's a real pain in the butt.
Actually, you know what? Yannick's is offering a class. Today. I think it's today. I think I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
They're offering a class today.
Yeah, I'm good with that, but it's just
go visit your favorite
effort. It's an effort to do it on your own. And you look like you're nice and tough. You're the second person to roll out the dough.
There you go.
All right, thanks again for coming on here. Next week, I'm going to be hanging out in Denver But Kathy is going to take over from me. We're back at Studio 120. Harry Rock is going to be guest hosting.
That should be fun.
With you. And I've invited into the studio Chef John Slattery because we weren't able to have him on last month.
Yep.
And next month we're not going to be able to fit him in October. So this is going to be the best time to get him on until November again. And then once he's back in November, I have a bunch of stuff I've been saving and putting together. That's going to be a heck of a show. I don't know what I'm doing the week after that. I'm going to figure that out before I leave. And then the last Tuesday of the month, I will have Chief Larry Valier from the police department. He's our new chief. I'm not going to really get into policies and cases or anything like that. I'm just going to get to know our new chief. So it's going to be a little meet and greet, and that'll be great. That's the last Tuesday of September. That's all the time I have for you. As you can hear the bell tolling, I'll catch you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bomba-dee-da, 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 happy trails to you, bomba-dee-da, bomba-dee-da, keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think about sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet again.